Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we are doing a macro and short-term analysis discussing the recent attempted breakout of 100,000, whether or not Bitcoin is going to continue toward the upside, exactly what needs to happen for that upward move to occur, and of course, the probabilities of short-term corrections moving into next week. Before we get into it, smash the like button, hit the comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop for cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in taking your trading to the next level, join us on VIP. To get access to the VIP channel, click the pinned comment of the free channel, click my name or these links to find out more information. The first link being a 50+ month trading track record, and the second link being a 10-minute video showing you inside the channel itself. You'll get access to two groups: the main VIP channel, where we post all of our trading setups with exact entry prices, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, and exclusive analysis, as well as our second group, which is our group chat with over 700 members. You'll get access to our general chat and our trading chart education chat, as well as our help, our daily video, our news, and our trade setups. Go ahead and check it out by clicking the pinned comment, and let's jump right into the video. So as we can see, Bitcoin is still struggling around that $100,000 to $99,000 region. Now, we discussed in yesterday's video that for Bitcoin to continue toward the upside, we need to flip this 99 to 100,000 region as the area of support. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing a particular trend line on the daily chart for the RSI, which can, if broken, really increase, should I say, the probability of that directional continuation upward from that 99 to $100,000 region. We know that for Bitcoin to continue into those prior all-time highs at 108, the critical area of resistance we need to break through is going to be that 102.5 region. And we're also going to be discussing in today's video our macro charts, specifically our weekly and monthly charts. So let's move over to the market data to start with. 24-hour volume and liquidations. Let's jump into it. Liquidations are sitting at 324 million. That is down 1.69%. at 214 million from longs and 109 million from shorts. Moving over to volume, up 3.4%, 263 billion. So overall, volume holding quite steady, liquidations holding quite steady, more or less have seen the price action consolidate sideways. And if we look at this price action, that is exactly what we have seen. We have seen sideways consolidation at and around that 99 to $100,000 region, which with some very short-term swings up through 100 and again back below 99k. But more or less, besides this mass liquidation event over here, we have seen the price action push sideways over the past 24 hours. Now, with this sideways compression, we have also seen the price action break and sustain it just above this trend line, but we can see that prior daily candle actually resulted in a close underneath it. Now, we know for us to see breakouts, we look for three things. We look for trend, we look for structure, we look for strength. In this instance, we do not have any of those 3 points yet, so the breakout has not been confirmed. We are still technically challenging this downtrend as a point of resistance, and we're going to be discussing that in the video today, because while this level holds as resistance, the possibility for a rejection from 100 and back down on the short term is still on the table. Essentially, we are not out of the woods yet, if we want to simplify it. Moving over to the DXY, not that much happening here for the DXY. We can see on the DXY, the price action has been climbing very aggressively, and we know why. Again, that is all as a result of the increased perceived systematic risk for the market centered solely around a reduction in the expected amount of interest rate cuts in 2025. Now, that being a catalyst for the dollar to increase in strength, which has inadvertently drawn asset prices down up until we saw inflation data 2 days ago came out relatively better than expected. Now, if inflation comes out better than expected, that actually pushes a bit of optimism and hope into the market that maybe the Federal Reserve will see this as a good sign and they won't lean as heavy into reducing inflation as they have previously mentioned, and that may increase the probabilities for more than 2 interest rate cuts in 2025, hence why we have seen the markets move upwards and the DXY move downwards over the past 48 hours. Hopefully that will continue for the rest of the month moving into interest rate decisions, but we do have to wait and see how that interest rate decision plays out in 12 days and 18 hours. So pay very close attention to that. That is going to come on that monthly close. Looking at the S&P 500, as I just mentioned, asset prices have seen a little bit of a boost as a consequence of CPI data coming in a little bit better than expected. We came in just under the forecasted range and the previous range for core month-on-month inflation. So we have seen the markets rally as a result. Overall, the rally has not been enough to validate that we are going to continue higher. For us to see those directional continuations upward for the S&P 500, we absolutely need to see 2 things. The bearish divergence that we have been developing over the past 4 to 5 months, if not 6 months, we need to break that toward the upside. Again, a break of this trend line will indicate that the selling pressure we have seen increasing through this uptrend, right? This exhaustion we have seen from the buyers has been dissipated and the demand has actually absorbed that selling pressure, which will facilitate a continuation toward the upside. And with that RSI break, again, we are watching for a break of the prior high at 6,100, breaking those 2 points, 6,100, and the RSI in my eyes would result in a direct continuation into brand new highs for the S&P 500. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. Like we said, we are going over the short-term charts, discussing exactly what is happening here, down to the hourly, down to the 30-minute chart, going over what we are watching out for, where our next targets are, how Bitcoin can go higher. We are also going to be taking a look, like we've said, at that daily chart, going over the RSI, our critical levels of support and resistance, and what you should be expecting next. And of course, we'll be jumping over the weekly and very briefly the monthly chart, as well as Bitcoin dominance and the total market cap. So before we get into all of that content, go ahead guys, sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX with the links down below. These are my exclusive links. By signing up to any of those exchanges, it takes a few moments. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume. Check that out guys, sign up. You'll support me making the content for you guys every day, and you'll support yourself in your trading journey. Trade where I trade. Sign up, we'll play an ad, and we'll jump back into it. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other 2 exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay team, let's go ahead and jump back in, and we are starting on the daily chart, and this daily is very important. As we can see, the daily candle has just opened, and the prior candle, as we mentioned, closed just underneath that downtrend, and the RSI has closed just underneath the respective downtrend, which matches the recent highs according to the downtrend on the price action chart. Again, we can see that the price action has been traveling down with developments of highs and lower highs since that 108k top. Now, while we have been doing that, we can also see respective lower highs developing on the RSI. But what we are seeing right now is that the daily candle is attempting to break through the diagonal downtrend with that RSI. We are watching for two things. Number one, we are watching for a breakout of this daily candle, and we are watching for that RSI to break that diagonal trend line. When we see both of these things, that in our eyes will be confirmation that we are going to see the price action push back toward the upside. Where is our target? We are looking for that $102.5 to $102,000 region. Again, we need to see a RSI breakout and that price action to break out to confirm that not only has the price broken through the trend, but we have got the positive momentum and thus the strength to continue that price action upwards. Again, nothing is a certainty, but the probabilities will remain massively in favor of continuations upwards while we'll see that RSI and the price action break at the same time. So over the next 24 hours, watching those 2 points very, very closely. If we go over to the short-term charts, we can see right here on the 4-hourly, every single critical level of support and resistance mapped out by our gray boxes. As we can see, over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin saw a flash correction back to retest that major area of support at 97,000, which lines up pretty closely to the POC. Flipping this area as of support and pushing back upwards, closing the 4-hour candle above 99,000, validating 99,000 again as an area of major support. At the moment, it does appear that Bitcoin has flipped and is sustaining above that $99,000 to $100,000 region, something we did not see in that prior breakout. This is a good sign of demand and a good sign of strength, which will very likely propel the price action upwards to retest 102.5 to 102 when we have that positive momentum shift on the daily chart. So all is looking very well for the bulls. The last 24 hours have been nothing but consolidation, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. If we move over to the hourly chart here, we can see we do have some local highs, specifically 108,000 and this downtrend. If we are able to break this short-term downtrend sitting at around 100,500, we are then looking for that continuation upwards. So that is going to be our short-term resistance we are watching. And you can see that massive liquidity grab we saw back to retest these high points before CPI data over the past 24 hours. So overall, the price action is looking good. We can see on the short term over here, the price action is already rallying upwards to retest this trend line. We are watching very closely for a breakout of this trend line. Breaking through that trend line will likely result in the 4-hour momentum turning positive and the price action pushing back to 102.5. So overall, guys, there's not really much more to say here for Bitcoin other than we are watching closely on this daily candle close for a positive momentum shift. And with that positive momentum shift, we are watching a breakout of this downtrending diagonal trend line. That on the higher time frame will give us high time frame confirmation for continuation upwards. For the short-term charts, we are watching a break of this short-term resistance at 100,500. A resulting break of that level will likely trigger the breakout of this trend line with the RSI cross and thus a continuation to 102.5. Those are the bullish scenarios we're watching. Bitcoin, on the other hand, for bearish scenarios, provided we are able to sustain above 99,000, the move toward the upside is more likely than a move back toward the downside. For us to see a continuation lower, we need to close and fail. Basically, we just need to fail to sustain above 99,000 of support. You can see we saw a mass liquidation event, but we are able to sustain above 99K. That is totally fine. It shows us we flushed toward the downside, we had demand, we pushed the price action back upwards, the buyers are in control. But if we do not sustain above 99,000, that is when I'd be concerned concern for Bitcoin, and that is when I'd be worried for a potential further correction back to that 97,000 region. As we can see, 97,000 is the POC, and then below the POC, we do run the risk of correcting back to 92, but all in all, the probabilities are for continuations while 99,000 holds as support. That is it for Bitcoin, guys. There's not much more to say. Let's zoom out one more time. Hypothetically, we break over 102.5. A breakout of 102.5 will increase the possibility for a continuation back to the prior all-time high. That is what we're looking for as a consequence of a break of 102.5. Let's move over to our weekly charts very quickly. The weekly charts are still showing signs that the chart is in a macro uptrend and there is strength. Even if we move down to the daily chart, we can see on the daily chart, the price action was able to bounce from the midline of the Gaussian channel and was able to sustain above the leading span B of the Ichimoku cloud. This is not a sign of weakness. In fact, this is a sign of strength. This is a sign that we've had a massive amount of exhaustion develop as we were pushing upwards, and that selling pressure has more or less been absorbed. So at the moment, the buyers are still in control, and like we've mentioned many times, the buyers will likely remain in control on the higher time frame while the price action holds above 86,000. If we drop below 86,000, then and only then do we run the risk of entering a higher time frame correction. So according to our macro charts, when may that top be in? Well, first and foremost, our macro targets for Bitcoin are going to be sitting at around 121,000 for Bitcoin. And again, if we do a date range analysis, let's go ahead and rewind some of this stuff over here. If we do a date range analysis, we can see according to the 12 to 18 bar theory, a possible top for Bitcoin will be between March to April 2025. That simply takes the average amount of months between critical breakouts of prior all-time highs and bear market resistances. It takes those dates, applies it to the current cycle, and it gives us projected top of around March to April 2025. Now, will that be the macro top? I don't know. We might see the 4-year cycle play out and see that macro top at the end of 2025. It really depends on the monetary policy and how the Federal Reserve decides to tackle inflation and interest rates moving forward. If we see a more conservative approach, it is likely we see an earlier top around March to April 2025. If we see an approach which is more bullish, it is likely we'll see that extend through the remainder of 2025 to see an end of year top for Bitcoin. Both scenarios are possible, and only one, of course, will play out, and we need to get more information before we actually put a solid assessment forward. But those are the two dates we are looking for: March to April 2025 for a potential top, maybe a macro, maybe a local top, and then end of year around November 6th for that 4-year cycle, 1,064-day top. Moving over to Bitcoin dominance, we can see Bitcoin dominance has rejected from a pretty critical trend line. This is, of course, a great sign. This is a good sign for altcoins. And of course, we can see on the total market cap, we are very much bullish while we remain above $3 trillion. If we look at the altcoin market cap, the altcoin market cap is expected to see the parabolic move upwards. When we break through that 2021 high, we are about $7 trillion, I think. No, sorry, $700 billion, my bad, off that breakout currently. No, I'm completely wrong. $70 billion. My numbers are all over the place today. We're getting pretty close, right? We're getting pretty close, but we're not quite there yet. We need to break through that 1.13 trillion to see the continuation upwards and thus enter that next leg up for altcoins. As we mentioned in yesterday's video, all is looking very well while the total market cap remains above 3.05 trillion, that being the 2021 high. So all in all, looking fantastic, guys. Let's go back to the short term for one quick second. We can see Bitcoin has continued upwards just in the matter of minutes of being filming this video. We are getting close to a trend line. We are watching for a breakout there on the short term. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic day. Not too much more to say. We'll catch you on Sunday for our next video. Peace.